शरीरं स्वर्गनरकौ बन्धमोक्षौ भयं तथा कल्पनामात्रमेवैतत् किं मे कार्यं चिदात्मनः. I mean, the way he composes verses, the way he talks shows really he knew the truth. He understood it correctly. He's a very great person. Shariram, the embodiment. And the embodiment has pleasures and pains, Swarga and Naraka. And within the embodiment, man searches for, he feels bound. Bondage is to feeling bound to this form. This is called bondage. There is no other bondage. Presupposing this felt bondage is the bondage with children, bondage with money. My bondage with the objects presupposes my bondage with this form. This is equation. That I am a form is an erroneous perception. All attachments are attitudes. Therefore, all attachments are within the realm of erroneous perception. I have children and I get attached to them. It is an attitude of attachment. And I am attached to things. It is an attitude. Attachment is an attitude. Of course, it is influenced by the self-error. And therefore, it is also a kind of self-error, but the self-error is more in the form of dehoham, shariram. There is no idea my children are me. Say, the children are dear to me. This is called mamatvam. My house is dear to me. This is called mamatvam. A sense of attachment, a sense of moha. And as long as the sense of equation with this form is there, I am there. It is an equation. There is no feeling this is mine. Even if you say it, you don't mean it. You mean only I am the form. Even if one says this form is mine, this body is mine, even if he uses the term mine, but actually what he means is this is me. And in the same manner, presupposing this equation, when you have relationship with the children, at some time when you are annoyed, you say they are different, I am different. But the tatparya means they are mine. That's why between the parents and the children कितनी भी लड़ाई हो, अंत में एक हो जाते हैं. इसलिए बाहर के लोग इंटरवीन नहीं करना चाहिए. Very risky. It's very risky for the outsiders to interfere in the family affairs, because सब लोग parents and the children get together, वो तो एक ही हैं. Therefore, don't take sides. Therefore, even if you say that they are different, I am different, etc., etc., but that mamatvam doesn't go. You can fight with it, but it can't go. It can't be disproved. An attachment goes only when it is disproved to be real. When it is disproved. Human problems don't go away, they keep coming back again and again until they are disproved. Disproval is different from looking away from the problem. Pushing the problem under the carpet is different. And looking away from the problem is also different, whereas disproving it. Snake that is perceived in the rope doesn't go away. It goes away as it were only when it is disproved. When it is disproved, then there is no snake to go. The problem is solved only by knowing there is no problem. There is no other way. Solving the problem by way of knowing that there is no problem. What a wonderful way of solving it. A man is struggling with a man-eater tiger in the dream. And he feels it is a big problem. And when he wakes up, he disproves the problem, means he understands there is no problem. The 10th man, when he understands that himself is the 10th man, he doesn't solve the problem, he understands there is no problem. That is called the way of solving. An erroneous problem is solved by way of knowing that there is no problem. That's why psychology has no answer. Vedanta has no problem. Yes. Independent of Vedanta, there is no answer to human problems. Independent of Vedanta, there is no answer. And with Vedanta, there is no problem to solve. If you study Vedanta, I say there is no problem because in ignorance I felt a problem. If I felt a problem in ignorance, meaning what? Actually there is no problem. Thus, these attachments, you may do whatever, they can't go away unless you disprove them. And to disprove mamatvam, I have to disprove dehoham. The sense of equation with the form, adhyasa. In understanding oneself, you understand there is no problem to solve. Therefore, shariram, swarga narakau, bandha mokshau, the sense of bondage, I feel bound to this form. Everybody understands one thing, they always miss the target when they think. They think exactly everything other than what is to be thought. I am bound to my children. I am bound to my business. I am bound to my work. And there is a tulsi plant, I can't go anywhere because nobody is ready to accept the tulsi plant to be looked after. Yes, if you have a cow, you can't go anywhere. If you have a tulsi plant, you can't go anywhere. If you have a dog, you can take it with you. But a cow, you can't take it. Tulsi plant you can't carry. We think the bondage is created through the external objects. It is not true. The creation cannot bind you. The equation, the adhyas, I am judging, I am concluding my existence wrongly, that I am a form. My judgment about myself is the bondage. I am a form is my timeless error. Anadi adhyasa, anadya vidya. I am a form and therefore I am limited to the form. I am born as a form, I am born and I will die. This perception about one's existence wrongly please. Judgment about oneself, perception about oneself, error about oneself, it all means the same. This wrong judgment about one's existence, this wrong perception about one's existence, this error about one's existence, it's not an attitude, it is an erroneous vision. It is a vision, not an attachment. Oh, if you see one rope, if you see one moon as two moons, it is an error, and conclude there are two moons. Right from the childhood you are seeing two moons because you are born with a squint eye. And when I look at the moon, I see two moons. So if I live with the idea that there are two moons, it is a vision, not an attitude. I want you to understand the difference between attitude and a vision, a perception. It's a very big thing. यहीं पर बहुत लोग प्रॉब्लम हो जाते हैं. Because the entire truth is misunderstood as a kind of mental attitude, mind. Truth is one's existence. One's existence, presence, is not an attitude. You use right attitudes to quieten yourself. That's a different matter. So that you can understand the truth. But truth itself is not another thought. Truth transcends all attitudes. Truth transcends all thoughts. Truth transcends the time, space, etc. Therefore, people look upon the objects as their bondage. They don't understand it is the inner judgment about one's existence. It is one's existence is judged wrongly. It is one's sat that is judged wrongly. That is the bondage. I am looking at my existence wrongly is called the problem. That is bondage. Therefore, when I have a wrong perception about myself, and because of that wrong perception that I am the form, I feel limited, I feel born, I feel I will die, I feel insecure. Whatever are the vulnerabilities of the form become my vulnerabilities. Whatever are the limitations of the form, they become my limitations. Because I am equating my existence with the form. I am not equating some one corner of my existence as a form. I am equating my entire existence. Because truth, the self doesn't have corners. It is indivisible. Therefore, a wrong perception about the self means the wrong perception about the entire unlimited self. The unlimited self can't have parts so that you can have right knowledge, wrong knowledge about one part and right knowledge about another part. You can have right perception about one part and wrong perception about another part you can have if the truth has parts. Like a tree has many parts. You can see one part correctly, another part wrongly. Why not? A man who is colorblind, he appreciates the taste of the tree, touch of the tree, smell of the tree, sound of the tree, but he misreads the color of the tree. Why? Because partial error is possible about something which has parts. Partial misconception. But about the truth, you can't have a partial misconception because the seer doesn't have parts. If you think in terms of parts, you become the seer of the parts. That seer doesn't have parts. Very big thing, ji. And therefore, bondage is not through the external objects. Bondage, nothing can, your duty cannot bind you, your wealth cannot bind you, your children cannot bind you, this creation cannot bind you, this era that I am a form. Judging the unlimited, equating the unlimited subject with the limited form. The timeless is being equated with the time bound. That which transcends the space-free self is equated with the form that is located in the space. It is the self-judge perception, anadi perception. Because presupposing this self-error is the time, space, form, thought, everything. The entire samsara presupposes my equation. Therefore, bondage is felt within. Bondage is in the form of self-erroneous judgment about one's existence. Atma avidya. Call it self-ignorance, call it self-error, but I would like to put it in my language. The bondage is felt because one does not look at oneself correctly. Avicharita siddham. We can't say the error has been there. It's wrong. The error is there. Because I don't look at myself closely. The darkness, there is darkness because there is no light. Errors cannot be considered, it has been there. You can't put an error in time. There is a misconception because I don't have the right knowledge. I don't have the right knowledge. Yesterday, then you have to say, I had the error because I didn't have the knowledge. For lack of right knowledge, there is wrong knowledge. And presupposing the wrong knowledge is the whole universe. Therefore, understand bondage. Don't blame unnecessarily your children. Innocent children, you're all because of you, etc. No. Your bondage is not because of them. Their bondage is because of you, because you don't allow them to go and play freely. Children can never be your bondage, please. Your business cannot be your bondage. Your household cannot be your bondage. There is no detail in the creation which can be your bondage. If an object can be my bondage, then I can just keep away from the object, then I should have moksha. it is all childishness. Profound things cannot be understood through childish thinking. Truth is too profound, and we can't really think in a childish way and then understand. Bondage has to be understood correctly. It is a misconception about the infinite, the being. It is a misconception about one's existence, the conscious being. The conscious being is equated with an inert form. And why it is there? Because I don't look at myself. Avicharita Siddham, Sureshwaracharya says very nicely. He just touches this point. It's very, very exhilarating. There is avidya because there is no right understanding. Why there is no right understanding? Because one does not even give one's attention even once to one's being. Without getting into water even once in life, how can you learn swimming, ji? One doesn't know swimming. Why one doesn't know? One is ignorant of swimming. Why? Because he doesn't know swimming. Why he doesn't know swimming? Because he is scared of waters. He is apprehensive of waters. He gets scared of dying in waters. He is scared of breathing his last in waters. And some Jyotishya, some astrologer said your death is assured in water. वो तो जाता ही नहीं है. The same logic here. Somebody tells you don't go to Vedanta because Vedanta destroys your interest in the world. Why? I say something. It gives you really, it solves the problem. If I am happy, even if I lose interest in the world, so what, ji? If it helps me to be happy, having given me the peace inwardly, if it gives me my inner peace and then destroys my interest in the world, it's welcome. Kya ho gaya? But anyway, somebody told you don't go anywhere near Vedanta. Then you will run away. What are you talking, ji? If you misunderstand the message of Vedanta, then you will run away and again run back. जितना जल्दी ऋषिकेश भागेंगे उतना जल्दी वापस आ जाएंगे. बस. That is why government has got so many buses, so that by one bus you can go, by another bus you can come back. Vedanta correctly studied, Vedanta correctly understood, can never kill any interest. It always makes you think correctly. Its topic is not your worldly interest. Your topic, Vedantic topic is not your making you kind, etc. Vedantic topic is to make you think how different is your existence from the form. Vedantic topic is not to create interest in the world, nor its topic is to kill your interest in the world. It doesn't kill. It only unfolds the truth in the light of which you say, I don't need anything. That's okay. Hamara Guruji used to say, I say, if you start playing cricket, then your interest in playing marbles is killed. So let it go. To kya ho gaya? If I grow out of something smaller and grow into something bigger, it's welcome. Therefore, just as you are always apprehensive of waters and you don't learn swimming, you are apprehensive of Vedanta, you don't look at yourself. Because nobody tells you your existence is of prime importance. The entire universe presupposes your existence. This statement nobody makes. It is for the Shastram to turn your attention to yourself. The entire world is in a sinking boat and nobody thinks about the safety. And nobody knows swimming. They're all sinking. And therefore, that you are infinite is not hearsay. It is not just because Vedanta says so, you are so. It will be wrong. It is your experience that you on a daily basis you do experience, not on a daily basis, perennial, without a break of for even 1 second. Constantly your dissimilarity, your contrast is evident. If you are unlike a form, then you are unlike the limited. If you are unlike the sound, then you are unlike the limited. It's a very big logic, G. If I am unlike the form, if I am unlike an object, as a subject, being the subject, I am unlike the object. If I am unlike the object, then I am unlike the limited. If I am unlike the limited, then I am unlimited. So, logic points out, experience also. The contrast is experienced. This you have to hear. The contrast between one's existence and the form is experienced. In and through this wrong equation that I am the form, in and through this equation the contrast is also evident. The contrast is evident. Yes, I feel I am the form. That is a self-error. But within that perception, the contrast is evident. I am the seer of the form is seen. I am the toucher of the form is touched. I am the rememberer of the form, I am the perceiver of the form, thinker of the form, and experiencer of the form. It is experienced. I am experiencer. I am the objectifier, and this is objectified. So the contrast is there evident in and through the error. Truth is always evident in and through the error. Water is evident in and through the wave. स्वामी जी थोड़ा आगे चलिए. ठीक है जी. शरीरम स्वर्ग नरकौ बंध मोक्षौ भयम. The point that is being made is, don't blame anything for the bondage in this world. If you don't blame, then you don't grumble. Don't grumble. मैंने इतने साल काम किया, मेरे को क्या मिला? मैंने इतना किया, मेरे को क्या? These are all grumble. मैं इतना अच्छा काम किया, मेरे को क्या मिल रहा है? भगवान ने हमको क्या? These are all grumble, because a grumbling person grumbles against everybody. देखो हमारा पिताजी भी सब कुछ आपको ही दिया, फिर बोलते हैं हमको क्या मिला है? It is a grumbling nature. I tell you, once your problem is not outside, your problem is your thinking, wrong thinking about your existence. You become very objective. Blame none. And if I don't get something, it's my prarabdha, or maybe I haven't made effort, or I have made some wrong effort. Rectify your actions to rectify results. But when it comes to the bondage, etc., that is rectify your perception, rectify your actions for survival, rectify your thinking for peace. Rectify your perception about your existence. I keep harping on this point. I don't mean you should rectify your perceptions about the objects. I am not talking like that. Even if you keep all your perceptions intact about the object, so it be. I don't care. But rectify your perception, your judgment about your existence. There is nothing similar to one's existence and the limited. One is the Satyam. The subject is the Satyam and the form is the Mithya. There is nothing similar to wave and water. Wave is a form that is cooked up. Water is the substance. Rope is the fact. Snake is a perception. It's Mithya. Thus, instead of really, I don't say that you should rectify your perceptions about objects. You rectify your perception about yourself, your perceptions about the objects also get rectified. Your attractions for the objects also get rectified. All your impulses get rectified. Yasmin vijñāte sarvam vijñātam bhavati. Rectify one perception about your existence, all other perceptions get rectified. जिसको जानने से सब जाना जाता है. Therefore, bhayam, fear, also is due to that error. Tatha similarly. Therefore, presupposing the self-error is the embodiment, is the pleasure, is the pain, is the bondage, and is the search for moksha, is the sense of insecurity, is the fear. Kalpana matrameva, it is all due to kalpana, erroneous judgment. Erroneous judgment about a fact is called kalpana. Kalpana is not deliberate imagination, it's not just imagination. It's not a deliberate imagination. Erroneous judgment, an illusion is different from imagination. When you deliberately imagine, that's different. Embodiment is not an imagination, it is a perception. Like a dream is not your imagination, because imaginations are always entertained deliberately. Imaginations are entertained deliberately. But a dream is not seen deliberately. I find myself with it. That is called kalpana. I find myself with a wrong judgment. That is called kalpana. I find myself with a wrong perception. That is called kalpana. It's like I find myself with a dream. That is called kalpana. I find myself with the waking state. It's a kalpana. I find myself with embodiment. Kalpana. I find myself with a struggle, kalpana. I find myself with pleasure and pain, kalpana. There is nothing deliberate, please. Nobody does something deliberately to suffer. Even when a person drinks alcohol, he thinks it will give me a kick and pleasure, not that dukkham. Nobody takes poison, see? Why? Because he knows it is sure that without giving any pleasure it gives pain. Alcohol, at least to begin with, it gives me pleasure. Later on, it may give pain. कोई बात नहीं. Later on, कौन देखा है? कल कौन देखा है जी? आज तो सुख मिलेंगे. So there is. Nobody does something which directly straight away gives pain. And embodiment gives pain, and therefore it is not a deliberate imagination. Then what is embodiment? It is kalpana. Kalpana means I find myself with a given perception, with a sense of reality. I find myself with a snake perception, with a sense of reality about it. I find myself with this form, with a sense of reality. This is only alone is me, nothing else. When form is, I am. When form is not, I am not. Kalpana matrameva etat. This is all bhranti. Kimme karyam chidatmana. Knowing the kalpana as kalpana is all, that is the answer to it. There is no other duty. There is nothing more to be done. Kimme karyam, what is there for me to do? Chidatmanaha, a conscious being. I am solely a conscious being. Conscious being doesn't have the do's and don'ts to be followed. You can't give mandates to the unlimited G. The unlimited cannot perform any action. It only is. What merely is cannot perform. You can't give mandates to the space. Space, thoda hat jao. What is impossible cannot be a mandate. The conscious being cannot do anything. Therefore, that is why we say in Veda that truth is not the subject matter for mandates. You can't give mandates to the truth, the unlimited. What is impossible and what is irrelevant, what is redundant, is never given as a mandate. Veda always gives you a mandate which is possible. But to the conscious being there cannot be any mandate. Why? It is unlimited. Next verse G, is it clear? Aho jana samuhepi nadvaitam pashyato mama aranyamiva samvrittam Kvaratim karamanyaham. Aho, what a wonder. Janasamuhepi, even in the midst of the society, Nadvaitam. There are many, but actually the truth is one. In perception there are many, in actuality they are all one. In perception there are many waves, in actuality there is only one water. Iti Ashtavakra says, in my vision there is only oneness. Janasamuhepi, even in the midst of the society, Nadvaitam, there is no Dvaitam. Pashyato mama, and for me, who sees it. As per my vision, Pashyato mama means as per my understanding, in the midst of the many there is only one. Aranyamiva samvrittam. It is a tranquil like a dense forest. Aranyamiva, like a thick forest, like a dense forest, like a thick forest. It is tranquil. Aranyam Shabda is always used for a deep silence place. That is why Vredaranyaka Upanishad is called Aranyakam. Means what? Something to be studied in the forest where there is deep silence. There means no disturbances. Truth is absolute tranquility. Even in the midst of the many, I see oneness, which is like Aranyam. Kwaratim Karavanyaham. What is there for me to enjoy in this world? There is only oneness. In oneness, there is no enjoyer-enjoyed relationship, division. In oneness, there is no seer-seen division. Where the divisions don't exist, you can't enjoy coffee or tea or etc. In oneness. Like in the deep sleep state, there is only oneness. You can't enjoy something. There is no enjoyer-enjoyed relationship. In the waking state, even if you enjoy something, but the truth is oneness. The divisions, despite the divisions, there is oneness. Despite the perceived divisions, there is actual oneness. This statement you have to assimilate. Despite the perceived divisions. Did you hear this? Please, I am going to say it again. Now wake up. Despite the perceived divisions, actually there is oneness. Not that when the divisions go away, there will be oneness. I say. The waves need not really. Despite the perception of the many waves, there is actually oneness of water. It is wrong to think when there is no Dvaitam, there is Advaitam. No, despite the perceived Dvaitam, not the factual Dvaitam, but only perceived, because Dvaitam is never factual. It is only a perception. Despite the perceived Dvaitam, what is there? Only Advaitam. Despite the perceived many, there is actual oneness alone. Therefore, despite many enjoyments in the waking state, people are enjoying, people are working, there is so much of storm in the truth. Despite this great storm of the society in the truth, but the truth is absolutely tranquil. Even though I see the snake in the rope, and then I beat my chest, kya karu, and I collect people, and this is called a storm of samsara. But the rope is tranquil. In the ropeness there is tranquility. The rope is not even, from the rope point of view, it sees nothing. Then मैं तो केवल मैं ही हूँ. Therefore, as educated people, you have to think the contrast between erroneous perception and the fact. That is the key to understanding Vedanta. Yatra yadadhyasaha tatkritena gunena doshena va anumatrena api sanasambadhyate. This is the key. Where there is an illusion, it doesn't touch the fact. The snake that I perceive doesn't affect the rope. The flatness that I see on the earth doesn't affect its roundness. My subjective, my wrong judgments about facts do not affect the facts. It is this. If you see this clearly, that is the key to understanding Vedanta. Because the whole problem is in the form of an error about a fact. The whole problem is in the form of a bhranti about a fact. Okay, ji? Therefore, it is Brahma Vidya that takes away your attraction for sense pleasures, which means Dvaitam. Advaitam tells you don't need Dvaitam. Nor there is any Dvaitam. When you are peaceful, you don't need disturbance. Does anybody need disturbance? No. It is universally not needed. In fact, disturbance is what I fight with. Therefore, you don't need Dvaitam means what? You don't need disturbance. It is a very statement of amusement. Who needs disturbance? You don't need Dvaitam. That means you don't need disturbance. And you can never get bored with freedom from disturbance. Unless he is a pagal. Even pagal doesn't want. Mandopina pravartate prayojana manuddisha. Even he wants a prayojana. Therefore, not that when there is no Dvaitam, there is Advaitam. No. Despite Dvaitam, there is Advaitam. Masticate it. You know, the cow does the chewing cud. Vedanta should be chewed like that. Swamiji, it's not a good phrase, chewing cud. Phrase कुछ भी हो, topic तो ठीक है. I should constantly do mananam. I should do mananam on that topic. You don't have to do anything. Keep your attention that your existence, take cognizance of your existence. I am also there. I am there. I cannot perceive an object unless I am there. In every perception, I am common. My existence is common. In every experience, in all experiences, my existence is common. And what I perceive are particulars, they keep changing. This is called Samanya Vishesha Prakriya. Registering the commonness of one's existence. That one's existence is common, and what I perceive are, they keep changing. The changing factors are different from the commonly present. Therefore, in order to perceive an object, my presence is choicelessly necessary, is present. When I see the world, in that perception of the world, I also feel my existence. You can't see the wave separate from water. The wave carries the water with it. A bubble carries water in it. Perceptions carry the truth with it. Means the source of the perceptions, the conscious being. Next verse, ji. Naham deho na me dehi dehaham. Jivo naham aham hichit. ayameva hi me bandha asidya jivite spriha naham deha, neither I am deha. Name deha, nor is it mine. Neither it is me, nor it is mine. Why does he say it again and again? This is not me and this is not mine. Because some of the logicians say that the body is a possession. Body is neither one's existence is neither the body nor the owner of the body. You can't say I own it. No, you don't own it. Neither you are it, nor you are own it. Jivo naham, because I am not a jiva. I am not a jiva. I am aham hi chit. I am only conscious being. To be a conscious jiva means with a form. Conscious being, that conscious identity doesn't have any form in it. Conscious identity is different from physical error, the error with the form, perception. Jiva is in the form of a conscious being in equation with the form. And conscious identity excludes the form. Conscious identity, like equation with the form, implies I am conscious. But the consciousness is not the form. Form can't exist without consciousness, but consciousness exists without being a form. There can be water without being a wave. That is its identity. What is the identity of water? What can exist without being a bubble, without being a wave? Just H2O is. It doesn't require to look like a creation. Waterness. And therefore, my conscious identity excludes, it doesn't have a form. Ayameva hi me bandha, my bondage has been. Ayameva hi me bandha asit. Only this was, he says. That is also a compromise. You can't say was. This alone is my problem. Or it doesn't matter, one thinks in time. This has been my problem. Ashtavakra says, Ayameva hi me bandha asit. My bondage has been this. What is it? Ya jivite spriha. I wanted to live for a long time. This was my problem. I was thinking more in terms of the comforts of life, facilities of life, and a long life, etc. But I have not been thinking of my identity, my existence. It is very difficult not to think about living, not to think about comforts, facilities, not to think about sukhamji, physical sukham and mental sukham. It's not possible. Even a person who renounces everything, he does go and take shelter in a temple. He needs food. The basics nobody can renounce, please. Renunciation does not mean renouncing the basics. Renunciation means renouncing a certain line of thinking. That the more the pleasures, more will be happy. Trying to link the happiness to pleasures, that is the line of thinking. linking fullness to the pleasures, linking happiness to the objects, linking my answer, linking freedom from bondage to the objects, linking my peace to the objects, linking my inward peace to the objects, linking my well-being to the objects, inner well-being. That's a kind of a line of thinking. Renouncing that line of thinking is called sannyasa. If renouncing a given object is not a big deal, renouncing a bhindi bangan is not a big thing. Bangan छोड़ो ना अभी कुछ त्योहार चल रहा है, and then ultimately they extract a promise from you, bangan छोड़ो, and that is the one that you like most. It all creates a problem. You don't have to renounce any object. Use every object for survival. Use every object for survival. Use clean air for survival, water for survival. Objects are neither the problem nor the answer. The problem is the self-judgment that I am a form. I am a form is the problem, not form is a problem. I am a form is the problem, not form is a problem. I am the body is the problem, not the body is the problem. And therefore, when the thinking is not rectified, then man only thinks, man links happiness to the comforts, links happiness to the pleasures, links his freedom to the objects, and links his fulfillment to a long life. मैं तो अभी 90 साल का हूँ, मैं देखो अट्ठा कट्टा. Is all idiots. ऐसे कितने भी अट्ठा कट्टा हो, और 1-2 साल के बाद तो चल भी नहीं पाएंगे. You are not going to be for 200 years anyway. Maybe because maybe you must have taken some good food. देशी का घी खाया होगा, therefore थोड़ा देशी घी खाया. I don't think really there is a big difference between 50 years longevity and 80 years longevity. कुछ नहीं जी. Therefore, Ashtavakra says, my problem has been that I was thinking more about the length of life and comforts. I was linking my fullness to the comforts. No, comforts cannot be the answer. You can have basic comforts with the understanding they don't give me anything beyond comfortable survival. Swamiji, is it not true that we are in need of only survival, nothing beyond? No. That's where I put my foot down, that's no. If survival alone is what man wants, then when survival is taken care of, he should be blissful. You have enough money to survive, then why do you feel jealous of your sister-in-law? You have got enough. Therefore, even the jealousy, comfort cannot handle jealousy. All your gadgets, 5-star gadgets, cannot handle one impulse called jealousy. Can't handle one impulse called hatred. Can't handle one impulse called anger. I say the comforts cannot handle even one result of avidya. How can they handle avidya? When the medicine can't treat the symptoms on the body, how is it going to cure the disease? Symptoms you are not able to handle. Impulses are symptoms. Comforts cannot handle symptoms. Somebody was telling yesterday, Swamiji, you don't know 50% of Delhi people take a Rivotril before going to sleep. You understand what is Rivotril? Thank God. If you don't know, please don't know it. The Rivotril is kind of a sleeping medicine. Without a medicine that quietens the mind, calms the nervous system, they can't go to sleep. Therefore, you have all comforts, but yet you can't handle. Comforts cannot handle one impulse called worry. Worry is the result of error. Worry itself is not an error, it is the result of an error. And comforts cannot handle even the results of the error. Even the symptoms they can't handle. How can they handle the disease? Dehoham is the disease. Therefore, don't read too much into comforts. Have them, enjoy them, forget them. But don't read too much. Don't have a philosophy about comforts. Like you breathe air and breathe out. And don't have a philosophy about it. About the means for survival, don't have a philosophy. I say you can't have a philosophy about the truth. How are you going to have a philosophy about the symptoms? These are all the objects which are necessary for survival. Use them and then don't cook up a survival about. Oh, he has got Sean, he has got Italian marble. This is all philosophy. It's nothing. Even if this washroom has got Italian marbles, and if you are constipated, Italian marbles cannot help. What are you talking, Ji? So this human stupidity is there, Ji. They are not simple. They are very complicated, Ji. Okay, we will see the next verse next class, Ji. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.